Okay. One more time. Okay, now. Okay, I had to start this a couple times because I don't know why it's messed up, but it messed up on me. So I'm adding people, so bear with me a few moments while I go through the invite list here and try to get people without hitting the finish button again. That's what I did twice now. So I'm trying to add people and not end the damn video. So basically, questions and answers is what we're doing. If you got any questions, what's going on, the situation, where we're at, what we're doing, why we're doing, hips, hows, whys, wheres, whens, yada, 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 how you can help, what we need, what we don't need, blah, 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 blah. That's what this is all about. So anybody's got any questions, just ask them and I will try to answer them. You can post them up, or I have the conference call going on. You can call into that. That number is 515-604-9826. And access code is 832160. So bear with me here while I keep trying to grab people who may be not doing anything but just wasting time. Anybody's got any questions? That's what this is about, questions and answers. So if you got them, start post them up. You can call into the conference call and come on the show or the conference call and ask them open the air, and we'll get that on there. But I am just trying to add people in who may be not doing anything, who maybe want to come in and listen or ask questions. So bear with me as I do this. It seems like I should be able to scroll down that, but I can't. So I'm still just adding people. I see we got 7. This is a Q&A session for those new coming in here. It's going to get kind of boring until I get done here and we get a few more people. So just bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Getting there. We are getting there. Trying to make sure I'm only catching people from Michigan who are in the state, who I know maybe want to listen and help. If you got questions, start typing them up or call into the conference call. Again, that number is 1-515-604-9826, and the access code is 832160. So again, just bear with me for a few minutes. If you're hanging out, there's about 10 of you out there now. If anybody's got any questions, by all means, start popping them and start having your conversation, whatever. I'll be with us in a minute. So if I'm not getting you in the ad, I'm sorry. This thing only allows so much scroll room and really no scroll room. So like when I put up, I'm adding people off my friends list. When I put up a T, I get a list of 7, 8 names, and that's it. I've got 40, 50 people in my names with T's, but I'd have to really start bouncing through every one of them. So it's not that I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to invite you. This thing, Facebook, is really limited in how it allows that to happen, and I apologize. You almost got to start typing out everything to get all the names, and it gets really kind of crazy. And that alone obviously takes a few seconds because I'm still trying to invite people. I need a new mouse. I'm going to do that. Almost here through most of the thing I have. That's pretty much the last one. I think that's about the majority of it on the invite. Okay. Cancel out of that and get in here. And I'll start going up the questions here. Looks like we got a couple. Yep, Aubrey got the petition approved yesterday for circulation with a slightly newer language than last year. So yeah, the circulation or the petition's approved and we're ready to start circulation. John, how soon? Very soon. Everything's pretty much ready right now. I just want to get kind of we need to put together a database. So if we send somebody a PDF file, we know who we sent the PDF file to, and we can contact that person and keep in contact with them so they can say, hey, I printed out 30 petitions or 1,000 petitions on this PDF file. That way we get an idea of how many petitions are in circulation, how many petitions are out there, where they are. We could put the PDF file and say, run it and go. Just take it and run. And let's say somebody in Walled Lake has the PDF file, and I get 10 people from Walled Lake say, hey, who's the person in Walled Lake? And I can say, like I did last year, I don't know. We just put the petitions out there. They're out there. You'll have to do a little research. You'll have to look in your neighborhood, but you'll find them. Well, I don't want to have to try that this time. I'd like to say, go talk to Joe Smith. Here's his contact. Here's his email address. Here's his phone number. He's our coordinator for the Walled Lake area or the regional area for the guy down there, and he'll get you in touch with who you need to know. So I want to make sure that when the PDFs go out, or the petitions, when we get petitions printed and send them out, that we know who's got them. For a couple reasons. Number one, we know to get a hold of them next week and say, hey man, how's things going? Do you have any problems? Do you have any questions? The biggest thing people have with frustrations is not being able to have communication. If we don't know who has it, how do we communicate with them? So for me, I want to make it very easy for somebody in Grand Rapids to find out where a petition's at, to get a hold of somebody who has the petitions in Grand Rapids. So hopefully I don't have to try to send 10 petitions to the mail. They can just go to the local guy and pick them up and then drop them off to the local guy. And that would be the second reason why we need the contact information. When these things are exactly, Amber, communication and organization, we need that. We've got 180 days to get and turn in 500,000 signatures. We need cross-communication like no other. We must be able to communicate. And we're going to have to put all of our other differences aside and deal with this pot issue on its own. We can't let the other political things of the day get in the way here. That's what the state counts on. That's what the people trying to take it over count on. That's what CRLMA is counting on. I guarantee it. Doing good, Scott. So yeah, these are the things that we got to get this going. That's beautiful, John. It's exactly what we need. You can be what I want to call a regional, organizer or a district manager, if you will. I don't care what you want to call it. You're somebody who will deal with 2 or 3, 4 or 5 counties around you. We need people like you. And then when we get people in the counties, in your counties, then we can say, go see John Van Sporen, or go see Scott Robertson, or go see Amber Moosel. Get a hold of them. Here's their contact number. Here's their information. And this way, those people can get easy access petitions and training, because I want to make sure those regional directors are very well trained in all the ins and outs of what they need to know. If anybody wants to run a fundraiser, go do it. But we do need a little bit of information on the campaign side. Besides, if you're going to do a fundraiser and create a donation, we need some information for the finance reports. So these are all possible. You don't need my blessing to do a fundraiser. You don't need my permission. You don't need my anything to do a fundraiser for Abrogate. You go, you do it. Put it on. Let's just make sure you're doing it right. You're not getting in any trouble. And when everything's done, I need some information that I can send it to the state. And now somebody used to ask, it was Richard. I'm not very high at all, sadly. When I'm deep in this shit like this, I can smoke all day, and I might catch a little buzz, but I don't get really stoned. At least I haven't. Whether that's because I'm deep in conversation, or I'm just burning my buzz away, or whatever. I wish I was. I could use a nice high. Trying to smoke what's left of this little bit of roach here. So we can get the petitions going here soon, but I want to get a database set up that if I get in a car accident and I'm in the hospital in a coma, somebody knows how to get a hold of the fucking information. Somebody can get everything else enrolling. Dana can step in and take care, or anybody else who knows what's going on can step in and take that role. If I die, if somebody else dies, has a problem, whatever the situation, we need access to their database of who they've been dealing with, so we can pick up the slack. We can fill the vacancies. We can find the holes in the counties that need people. That's why we need the communication. That's why we need a database of who's got the PDF, so we know who to harp on to get the damn things back once they're filled out, most importantly, because campaign petition committee, ballot question committee and a petition campaign is about signatures on pieces of paper and turning them into the state. That's what it's about. And if we don't have petitions and papers, we don't have nothing to turn in the state, and we've all wasted a lot of time and effort and energy, and that's what they're all expecting. So we do have to be organized. We do have to be conscientious of what we're doing. We do have to be focused. Absolutely. Thank you, Richard. I very much appreciate it. I invited you because I know you're back here, and you'd probably like to hear what's going on and know that maybe one day you can come back home and have the weed be freed. So yeah, Scott, I've been doing pretty good, man. It's nice seeing you. Thanks for joining in. Not sure if you're aware, but we're trying to repeal prohibition for marijuana across the board, and I know you don't have a problem with that. So we could use your help over where you're at, and I know where you're at, but I won't say it for privacy's sakes. But you're not far from me, so I can get petitions in your hands soon. We need people to get signatures for us. We need people like John who says I can take them around my area. I'll circulate them. I'll be the go-to person. We need those people. So if you can do that, step up. Garrett, that's a good question. Not all of them do, but that goes back to that thing, of where are the good ones that take care of the bad ones, and most of them end up getting fired or arrested. Why are cops suck so much? Because they like getting paid too. Oh, really? That's cool. That's really cool, John. I know a few people's done fundraising for around, yeah, and we need all that. I don't need to approve anybody's fundraising, but as John can probably tell you, doing fundraising for state petition and political campaigns has some very strict rules to it. There's some very strict I's you got to dot and T's you got to cross, or else they kind of really punish you on that stuff. Fundraising is something they don't take lightly, especially political fundraising. So you got to be careful. We can start gathering signatures pretty soon, Dan. We're gonna, you know, people want to start by September 1st. I want to start by the middle of next week, but I want to get a database so when we send somebody's petitions, I give petitions to you, Dan, and I give you 100 of them, and you've taken 20 of them to different places, you know, or 4 different packs of 20 to 4 different places, and you have 20, that you put that information up so we know how to cross it. If you get in an accident, God forbid something happens, I'd like to know where you gave the 20 petitions to so we can contact them if we can't contact you, and you were our go-between guy between whoever you were dealing with in your area and the campaign. And this is how we accomplish this. We can run out there willy-nilly and pray that everybody does the right thing on their own with minimal guidance. Or we can work as a team, like a company, who's everybody's focused. You're coming in, you're focused for the day, you've got a job, you've got a goal, you've got a destination, an organization, a plan, something to do for the day. It don't have to be much, but every one of us can do something every day. If we come up with 500 petitioners, 500, that's it. There's 500 people petitioning, and we can get 500 people to petition every day. That's 1,000 signatures each. We have a goal of 500,000 signatures to turn in. So 500 petitioners, that's 1,000 signatures in 180 days. That is roughly 180, what? Let me do it this way. I could do it the hard way, or I can just do it this way. So we got 1,000 divided by the 180 days. It's like 5.5 signatures a day. So if we got 500 petitioners for 180 days, they each need 5.5 signatures a day. Pick up 20 on the weekend and 3 each day. You pretty much need to get 7 days, 5 signatures, 35. So you can basically figure it out. I broke it down before in the last year's campaign. And if we do it by county, roughly we need, 35, 40 signatures a day per county, and there's 83 counties. It's just math. But, if we got 500 people, there's 80 days, come on, darn it, 80 days involved, or 180 days, and that's basically 6 signatures a day each to give us that 500,000 signatures within a 180-day period. Now, the 180 days period is important to understand, and I'm going to go over this over and over and over again because it's very important. Because there's so much confusion over it last year and so many misconceptions and outright lies being presented over what happened last year with 180 days. We've got 180 days to collect the signatures. 500,000 of them need to be collected within this 180-day window. That 180 days doesn't start on a specific day. It can, and we can gauge for a 180th day turn-in, but the day actually ends on the day we turn the signatures in. So we can collect signatures for 3 years. The day we turn them into the state is the last day. That's the 180th day, and the state's going to count back 179 days from that day. In the 180th day back from the day we turn in is the start date. So if we turn in on July 6th, 2018, they'll go back 180 days, and that will approximately be January 8th, January 4th, something like that, of 2018. That will be the start date. So every signature will have to be collected between those 2 dates. So the 180 days is absolutely dependent on the day you turn them into the state, to be credited and validated in sufficiency and quality signatures by the state. And it's very important that we all understand that. So we can keep collecting signatures until we turn in. Everything we've collected that happened before 180 days are stale and null and void as if they've never happened. So if you sign a petition today, and I don't care whose petition over what it is, you sign it today on August 18th. And on April 20th, 2018, 215 odd-ish days later, that petition comes back around and needs your signature, you can sign it again because your old signature is dead. It's dead, dead, dead because it's stale and void per the state law. What you cannot do is sign the same petition or different petitions within the same 180-day period to pad the numbers for signatures. If you put your signature on more than one petition, that's why that warning's up there. Do not sign a petition more than one, because that's a crime, a felony, or a misdemeanor. It's because if you sign 100 petitions twice and give it 200 signatures, you are creating election fraud. You are committing voter fraud. Only sign a petition once every 180 days, regardless of what petition it is. You can sign as many petitions as you want the same day, but you can only sign the same petition once for 180 days. And when we're collecting, we want to make sure that, and this will get a little confusing. People say, I've already signed it. Well, there's another petition out there for recreational marijuana, and we're not that, and they didn't sign ours. So we will have to be attentive to that and pay attention to that as we're out there petitioning, to say, well, if you've signed before on any other petition before, August 20th, if that's the day we start, or September 1st, whatever day we kind of kick this thing off, you didn't sign this petition, please sign ours too. You're not going to hurt the other petition, you're not going to hurt ours. Your signatures are good on both petitions. Number 2, there is no competition between us and any other state campaign. We are a constitutional amendment petition. The CRLMA is a statutory initiative petition. Completely different. No competition in collecting signatures. They're already trying to say there is competition. They're already trying to say we're out there to dilute their signatures. No, we're out there to get on the ballot. And if you guys make it, good luck. If you don't, tough shit. I don't know what to tell you. If we don't, that's the breaks. But I think we all know what happens if Abrogate ain't there and the other one is. It's not going to be a pretty sight, in my opinion. I don't know too many people that really think it is, except for the lawyers. Funny how they're the only ones who think it's going to be so great because they're getting huge retainers. Even if they're not getting huge retainers, who can afford the $5,000 retainer, let alone the $30,000 retainer? Yeah, I know I have people giving me shit. Oh, I don't make $30,000 retainers. No, you get paid $30,000 by the end of the case. Your retainer is $5,000, $6,000, $10,000. And there are people paying $25,000 and $50,000 and $30,000 and $20,000 retainers to a defense attorney right today. This is happening across the state. I talked to some people who paid $11,000 and they just got busted a couple weeks ago. Well, in his roundabout, didn't talk to them directly. So the lawyers are making great money. Why do you think they don't want you to abrogate Michigan? Because 80 or 60% of drug arrests are for pot. It's 60% of their meat and potatoes. Even if it's court appointed, it's still 60% that they get the guys to take a plea on, or the gals to take a plea on. Well, they're going to throw the book at you, so you better just take this plea because, well, golly, you don't want to do a bunch of time and have to pay me more money. No, it's a racket. It's a screw game. So, these are very important things that we have to be aware of as we're going through this. That these questions are going to come up, and we need to handle them properly. And please, understand that when you're out here petitioning, you are a representative of the petition that you are pushing. I know we all support pot, but let's try to refrain from a Rastafarian and hippie dress, and let's try to dress, a shirt that, repeal, okay, a decent set of pants, slacks, long skirts, not mini. Mini skirts are great. I don't have a problem, but we got to be kind of professional here, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, Dick, and Jane, who are out there public, who are out there walking down the road, are far more likely to approach and speak somebody with a petition who's in slight business dress or casual business dress than they are somebody who's in hippie attire. It's just the facts. It's just the way it is. So, keep these things in mind. You got to represent not yourself. You're not representing the pot community. You're representing a legal petition that you are asking the rest of the community and the rest of your neighbors and your state, citizens that you live in the state with, to pass a law. And let's respect that concept for that reason, because that garners you more support, more viability, more public voice than anything else. We can yell, we can scream, and I do a lot of it. Everybody who's paid attention to me knows I do it only too well. But when we're in public, we need to remember we aren't representing just ourselves. We are representing the concept of ending prohibition. And if we're pissing people off because of our bad attitudes and our bad ways, we're not going to garner very much support. If we don't get on the ballot, we don't get a chance to give the voters a chance. Now, I don't want to give the voters a chance to pass bad legislation, which is why I do not support recreational pot like marijuana or like alcohol, because that's bad legislation. I don't care how it's put forward. Cannabis is not marijuana, or cannabis is not alcohol, and should not be treated like it. End of story. So with that being said, I get on a little bit there about that, but these are very important parts that we have to keep in touch with and keep aware of. That'd be great, Dan. If you can handle all down in Berrien, that's good. I've talked to people now in Berrien and Jackson and Ypsilanti and Grand Rapids and Lansing, a little bit locally here, some Bay City, some Saginaw, Flint, obviously, Detroit, up north, Onaway, up in the UP already. We've got support. There's a lot out there. I've already heard a little bit from Traverse City, Macomb County, Warren County. We need to make this happen. It's out there. Enough people know about it. Now is the time we apply the honey and leave the vinegar at home. Smiles and happy faces and kissing asses. That's how we get this done. We got to put our side issues away. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Libertarian. I'm a Michigander. I'm an American. I'll piss people off. That's what Americans do. But I'll stand with you when you're right, and I'll depart with you when you're wrong. But I'm not going to, bash you. I may argue with you, and we may call each other fucking idiots over certain shit. But I think we all agree cannabis has to be repealed. The prohibition of cannabis has to be repealed entirely. Not a little bit. Not for 21 and over. Not just for the recreational potheads, which I started out as a recreational pothead, even though I was not taking Percocets while I was smoking pot. So, we got to keep these bigger concepts ahead of ourselves. Horatio, thank you. Welcome aboard. Love to have you. I will do that. Horatio, if you're not familiar, you're kind of new to my eyes. I haven't seen your name before. So if you can, I'm going to put up 2 links for anybody in the chat. Pass them around. This is the 2 groups. This first link that I'm adding right now is the discussion page. It's a discussion group for Abrogate here on Facebook that anybody and everybody can join. Add your friends, add your family, the people you know that will be interested in actually repealing prohibition and ending the war on families that we know as the war on marijuana. Send them to these pages so we can, get their associations their help. If they can help us collect signatures, God bless them. That's what we need the most. We need people who can put ink pen on paper and get valid signatures. Besides that, we do need donations. We need official donations to the campaign to help pay for expenses, petition printing, to running down to the states, setting up meetings. You guys see how I legalize an MPP doing their state stuff? They're doing that with campaign funds that they're renting out these places or paying for the stuff. We can do smarter, we can do it better, and you don't need my permission to do anything. You can set up the meetings. All I ask is that we help coordinate so 5 people don't want a meeting with me or Dana or whoever else. BJ Mallon was part of this. I'm sure he would be happy to go around and speak about what we're doing. But we need to coordinate that stuff. We need to know where it is, when it is, and we need you guys to contact us. If you don't know these other people, make sure you contact me, and I will put you in contact with those other people in your area. There's the website, the michican.us website. I have to clean it up. I'm going to strip it down, and we're going to leave nothing but the medical, cannabis issues and stuff, and the county list. So everybody can click on the county and see where we've got the petitions. But I got to go archive stuff, and I'm going to try to get a lot of that done this weekend. So give me a moment here. Let me get this other page. Is that it? Yep, that's, no, well, yeah, it is, but I got to get to the right page. So the discussion group was the last link I pushed, and this one that I'm adding right now, Horatio, and everybody else, is the community page. Now, people don't want to get involved, they don't want to help, they don't want to donate, they don't want to discuss, but they do want to kind of keep involved with what's going on, keep up to it. Put them on the community page. They can go there, and we'll post to that page a day, every couple days, couple times a day, with information like, hey, we got John Van Sparen's down here, and he's down here, and he's got petitions, and he put them here, or he put them there, and if you're in this area, get a hold of John, or if you're in that area, get a hold of Dan or Horatio, for those people who want to be community leaders. So any help you can offer, Horatio, we much appreciate it. We need all hands on deck, all hands, and communication is absolutely key. That's why last year I was doing the radio program, because I was trying to communicate. Not everybody uses Facebook, and we're kind of stuck right now. We're still only using Facebook. There's 5 or 6 different websites. Please, if you're familiar with these websites, take it upon yourself. You have my blessings and my permissions. Take it upon yourself to share anything about Abrogate that me or anybody else puts out that's got the good message. Share it to the websites. Share it, copy and paste it with your own stuff. I don't want the credit. We need the people, the petition. We need the help to get this thing around the state. We need to cover some advertising when the time comes. If we get to the ballot, we're going to want some money for advertising. And not just a couple $1,000s. We're going to need a couple $100,000 for advertising, maybe even a couple $1 million to really advertise this thing right. Money will be needed. Right now, we need enough to keep going. And that's it. But the more we get right now, the faster we can get going and keep going. So if you can't help with time and petitions, and you can throw a couple bucks our way, please, we'll need it. If you know other people who don't want to help out with time, but they're more than willing to help out with a donation, we're official ballot question committee, so donations do have to be done specifically to handle campaign finance law accordingly. If we get money that's under $20, a $20 bill or less, it can be cash. But I need everybody's information who's donated. So if, John, you donate $20, even though it's cash, I need to know that. If somebody gave you $20 and said, hey, here's $20 for Abrogate on a donation, we need their name and address. If it's over $20, $20.01, or over that, it needs to be done on a check or money order or through a digital transfer like a PayPal or a credit card, something like that. Because we got to, this is state campaign finance laws. So anything over $20.01 has to be on check or money order or digital. And again, we need that information. And anybody who gives over $100, we need that person's employer. These are state laws. So, when it gets into funding or donations, it can be a little tricky, but it's not hard. Just understand that any donations come in are official campaign donations to the Abrogate campaign, and they're going to run the Abrogate campaign. I have my own thing that I'm doing with the t-shirts to help keep me going. That's completely different. The t-shirts are not part of the campaign. They support the campaign, but they are helping me get going, and as soon as I sell more of them, I'll buy another 500 or 1,000 t-shirts, and we'll do the same thing with them. They help me with gas to get around to the meetings and everything else as well. So, with that being said, there's some of those questions. So, Horatio, thank you for the input, the show of confidence, the support. And if you know anybody else helping and willing to help out in your area, we need you. As far as it goes, add me as on your friends list, so we have that contact as well. But join the 2 Abrogate pages to keep in touch and add anybody to them who wants to keep in touch and up to date on us. Our deadline to turn into the state of Michigan for the 2018 election is July 6th, 2018. So we need to collect all the signatures in the right amounts with quality signatures that are valid and get them to the state of Michigan Board of Elections before July 6th to be on the 2018 ballot. If for whatever reason we don't get our signatures by July 6th and I turn them in for some funky reason, it got late, we didn't get them all back to me in time because I can't turn them into the state if I don't have them, and we can only turn to the state 1 time. I can't go there 4 times in a week and keep giving them more. I can turn in once, 1 time. So I need all the petitions before I can turn them in. So with that said, if we happen to miss the July 8th deadline, it's not game over. We turn them in on July 9th. It's a shitter because we're not on the 2018 election. We'll be on the 2020 election. So July 8th is the deadline to make sure we're on July 18. If we happen to turn in past July 8th next year, that will, and before the election, after July 8th deadline, but before the November election in 2018, or actually by the end of the year, August or December 31st, 2018, our petition will then go to the 2020 election. So it's imperative that we spend our 180 days wisely in good communication with everybody helping and supporting everybody else as close and as broadly as we can in our locals and in our statewide, communities. In a way, Aubrey, yes, we do need to pay pretty close attention to the day we start. I mean, because we are going to try to put this together in 180 days. Now, granted, the first month it may start slow, and maybe we only get 3,000 signatures in the first 30 days. Now, come 180 days later, we're still shy 5,000 signatures. So, we don't have enough, and we're at 180 days. So we keep going, and let's say we can collect 10,000 signatures in the next 30 days. We'll lose the 3,000 off the front, and we're shy 6,000. So that's 9,000 signatures we lost. The 3,000 that went stale at the beginning of the first month, and the 5,000 or 6,000 that we still needed. But in the next 30 days that we lost the 3,000 at the beginning, we made 10,000, which qualifies us and gives us enough signatures. So that 180 days is a graduated sliding window. But every time we go beyond a day of 180 days of the process, those old signatures are just dead and stale. So that is why it is important that we do get ourselves a database. We keep it constantly maintained and keep it up to date. So anybody can log in and see where we're at. Anybody can look at it and go, oh, we better really crack down, or my God, we're really sailing. And we'll be doing updates on that. But yes, absolutely. There ain't no way we can make the petition stand out as far as others, Dan. They are legislated by law. That's what the approval process was, is to make sure basically everybody's petition looks the same. So the only difference is the campaigners, the language. That's kind of part of the state law, is they don't want you to have something like a big pot leaf on it. That's the bad format and won't be allowed. And yeah, well, you're right, Aubrey, on the date and numbers of signatures. Yeah, we need to be up on that as well. Amber, thank you very much. We've got a few people in the north. Of course, keep up on our, of course, you've been talking with us for a while. Keep up on our unit there, on our pages. And as soon as we're ready, I'm ready, got the PDF now, but I want to get this database set up. So whoever's got the PDF, whoever we send petitions to, whoever gets them dropped off to, we've got contact information that our regionals, somebody else can handle and get a hold of, because 180 days is 6 months, and a lot happens in 6 months. I started this thing, and just before it really kicked off in 2015, my mom died. And believe me, I thought about postponing. It was, you know, because I'm executor on her will. And Aubrey's my niece, for those of you that may not know. Trust me, we've had our share of death in this family, and it was a touch time. But things are what they are, and things are different now. So anything can happen to any one of us, and it doesn't matter if we're just one guy collecting petitions in our neighborhood, or it's me trying to put everybody on the same page and get this shit done, or you who's trying to put everybody else on the same page and get it done because I'm a bit of an asshole and some people don't like dealing with me. And that's cool. I don't get a problem with that. I know I'm a bit of an asshole. Ask my ex-wife, she'll tell you. I got called an asshole my whole marriage, so I know it. But yeah, you know, that's what we need, Amber. We need people who will step up and say, I'll be regional, I'll be county, I'll be community. We need people who say, I'll take care of fundraising, I'll do this. Hey, we got somebody to deal with advertising. I work in an advertising company. I can help with this. We need you folks and everybody else out there to push and do their extra part. Otherwise, we all get to suffer the masses and wait to see what legislation gets us. Or RMA gets on the ballot and nothing else goes there and it possibly passes, which some people think that's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be so great. I see, you know, serious potential problems there. So it is, Amber. I mean, it's kind of tough. Scrubs, I think Scrubs would work great, Aubrey. I mean, people have petition, especially if you're like in between operations, in between stuff. Yeah, I mean, we need to look semi-professional out there. We need to represent. We're not representing potheads. We're representing the concept of ending prohibition and stopping putting people in jail, and that deserves some respect. It deserves respect from us. It deserves respect from our petitioners. And that's how we get respect from the community at large. Cops do bad shit every day, but they get the respect of the community at large, not because so many people are statists, but they act professional. And they look good in their uniforms, let's face it. I mean, this is how the system has us in the public duped, you know. So, you know, we just gotta do the same things. We gotta stand up and hold ourselves to a little higher standard. As long as we hold ourselves to a higher standard, we'll be held as a higher standard organization. And that's what makes legitimate organizations successful. It doesn't matter if you're a petition campaign or you're a, you know, Forbes 100, you know, billion a year corporation. That is what the success is. Not stopping, not giving up, and respecting what the hell you're doing. So let's see here. They do look the same, Dan. One, like I said, is community, and you know, it's kind of different, and I get them to look the same for the same reason, so people didn't think there were two different groups. But they are set up as far as that way. You know, the one is community and one's a discussion group, where anybody can kind of post. And yeah, we do moderate the posts as initially made, because you know that the pages are for repeal of prohibition. We, you know, this is official campaign pages, so we can't do willy-nilly conversations on them for the most part. So yeah, you just got to kind of pay attention to the two of them. And once you realize the difference between what the community page is and the differences between that and how the group discussion page works, it kind of self-explains itself. Not tax deductible, right, Richard? I thought they were. I thought campaign donations were, and at one time they used to be, but I guess somewhere along the last decade or two, legislature decided to do away with campaign deductions being, or campaign donations being tax deductible. So the only way they're tax deductible is if you are giving to a non-profit organization, and I do not have Abrogate set up as a non-profit organization. We're set up as a, you know, just a normal organization who makes no profit. So we're a zero-profit organization, if you want to call it that, because there's nobody getting paid anything. we got to have campaign expenses. We got to be able to expend that, and that's what we got it for. So no tax deduction, but no, we're not paying a CEO of breast cancer march. What is it, Susan B. Komen, $500,000 annually either. So I have thought about it, but the problem with doing tax deductible is you got to go to the federal level of tax deductible or the state level, and now the state has more authority and more control over your organization because now you're getting special state status, which means you have to apply and qualify and hurdle or jump special state hurdles. I don't want to go for that bullshit. We're ending prohibition, not starting a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So no, not tax deductible, my friend. Sorry to say, I'm sorry. I wish it was, but no, we're not. Yeah, and that exactly, Dan. We got to keep our chin up. We got to keep doing it. We can get this done easily. Scott, nice to see you. And yes, we can get this done. Yes, we cannabis. Abrogate Prohibition, Michigan. Yes, we cannabis, and it's Abrogate Michigan for ease of words. I've been using Abrogate Michigan. Right from Michiganders, right from Michigan is the call phrase. So, but yes, we absolutely can get this done. Yeah, mine too, Dan. Mine's getting a little rougher too. So hopefully we can get this done because this makes you and my a little bit easier. Gersh, yes, we can. You can collect donations, but any donations, you got to be very careful with it. You can't be seen as trying to elicit the signature in a donation. It's similar, but yes, you can take a signature, and once the signature is done, you can then ask the person, we could use some campaign funds. Would you like to donate to the campaign? If you donate to the campaign, we could really use the extra money to advertise. Yeah, we can do that, but we just got to be very specific about it under campaign finance laws. We can't mention anything else. We can't sell anything. We can't offer them anything for free for signing the petition. They got to sign the petition of their own free will. No coercions and things like that. So let's be honest when we're talking to people. Are you full repeal? You're going to remove all? Yes. We're going to take the government out of beating everybody down with pot and allow all these businesses to open up with minimal government involvement like they do with tomatoes or cotton. So yeah, we can raise funds at the same time we're gathering signatures. We just need to be specific and careful about it. Like I say, there are some campaign finance laws, and I don't want anybody out there doing something to have a problem. So the biggest things about the fundraisers, we need all names and numbers. Even if somebody donates just a penny, man. I mean, the state's really picky on that. Obviously, this is kind of nutty, but literally, if somebody gave us a penny officially, the state wants their name and address. So a lot of people may not donate because of that. And I can understand it, and that's going to suck. We need people who understand that the state's already got their name, the state's already got their number, and they're already on a list. So donate anyways, because you're not going on a different list, you're already on it. But yeah, any donations up to $20 can be cash. From $20.01 onward, it must be check or donation made directly to Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. Abrogate Michigan would work. Abrogate Prohibition would work. I talked with my bank. They'll take those checks. They know they're good. But Abrogate Prohibition Michigan or Abrogate Michigan would be the most appropriate. Anything over $20.01 must be made directly to that in money order, check, or direct fee. I have a PayPal account set up. So people have their smartphones and maybe they've got a setup with a card swiper. We can take direct donations that way, and we'll have to set things up so I can get you logged into the official PayPal account securely so you can tie into it and then take an official donation that way with a credit card or a debit card of some sort. And that way you don't have to use a check or money order if somebody wants to do it that way. And we deal with cash. So yeah, we can do that. We just got to be careful that we're not doing anything that looks like we're enticing somebody to sign for a gift or a free item or something like that to get the signature. That's the illegal campaign stuff. So other than that, I mean, those are the biggest issues. And then the $100 and over, we need not only their name and address, but their employer. Now, there are some people who cannot donate. Foreigners. Not foreigners from Michigan, foreigners from another country. All donations must be made from U.S. citizens or U.S. persons. U.S. persons can be you or me, any U.S. citizen, or any company that's founded in the United States. Companies are persons. Citizens United. People, corporations are people too. But these are all the thing. I don't think there's any problem with that, Gersh, as far as considering on tipping the volunteer. Again, we can't look to be coercing that, so I would approach it very delicately, but we could always say, we're volunteers out here on their own. Anything you could afford to help us out with personally would be great. If you know, but you have to separate that. You have to make sure there's a distinction between donating to Abrogate officially and donating to you personally. So that has to be there, because you know the state may go out there and they may try to fool somebody up, and if they catch somebody, you know, I pray they don't, but if they do, they might. So yeah, and this, you know, funding thing, it's a little tricky because it's politics, it's political funding. We're a ballot question committee, and states and the governments are very picky on political contributions. If you're the lowly sheep like we are. If I was, you know, if I was Dow or something, I'm sorry if somebody's been listening and nobody's in the call meeting. Okay, good, because I don't have it on there. I just kind of hear the elevator music. You know, there are rules and regulations. So, you know, no foreigners can donate, no out of country people. Somebody in Texas who lives in Texas, who's an American citizen, they can donate $1,000, $1 million, $10 million if they want to. Ron Paul can donate. George Soros can donate. Peter, what's his name? The Peter Thiel, the PayPal guy who just screwed California with Prop 64, can donate. We can accept a donation from anybody in this country who's a U.S. citizen or a U.S. business, but we just needed an official donation. There's no tax deduction because we're not a, you know, tax deductible deal. So with that being said, I realize that's a little tricky, but you know, pretty much there's really no tax deductions on it. You know, like I say, you know, if you're donating to Mitt Romney's super PAC, that's a tax deduction, but you're really donating to Mitt Romney. So we could set up a super PAC, let's say, repeal Michigan super PAC, and make that a tax deductible area where any donations goes to that is tax deductible, and then the super PAC donates to Abrogate. That's very possible, and that's a way we can donate. But we need to do an official super PAC that would be a nonprofit organization, which would, you know, you got to file your own financial records with the states for that stuff, and you could get yourself in some, you know, foundational problems there. So yeah, they can consider tipping the volunteer, because we are all volunteers. We're not paid petitioners. We ain't got $10 million. And believe me, if I got somebody that donated me $10 million, I would pay $5 a signature for 50,000 or 50,000? No, I would pay $5 a signature for 500,000 signatures. So I would spend, if I got $10 million, I would spend $2.5 million getting 500,000 great solid signatures to go to the ballot, and then we'd spend the other $7.5 million on advertising and getting passed. So yeah, we could use the money, but you know, yeah, we're Anheuser-Busch and GlaxoSmithKline ain't lining up to the Abrogate page to throw money at us. But they sure are doing it to the other pages, or, you know, at least somewhat. So, you know, we got to, it's all on us. It's all on us, you know, we the people. It's what we can push. So, you know, we got to be smart. We got to be, you know, representing of not the campaign, not free in the weed. We got to be representing the end of prohibition as the responsible, intelligent thing to do in the state. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and kill it. It's been about an hour. And again, if anybody's got any questions later, you're listening to this as this is going on, type up your questions. I'm not deleting these things. I'm going to keep them up, and we'll try to review them in a week, and I'll ask those questions. I'll try to find them and get them up here so we get them answered. The last thing I'll leave you with, again, is the website, mishican.us. michican.us. I'm going to try to get it cleaned up as much as I can over the weekend and condensed down for nothing but the 83 counties and a couple of discussion areas. So anybody who isn't on Facebook, because a lot of people really hate Facebook, they won't join it. They can, but they're online. So, you know, they can join the website if they don't want to go to Facebook or Twitter or something like that. So with that said, yeah, thanks, Dan. You have a great night. Everybody else, thanks for coming in and listening and let me flatten my lips here. Y'all have a good night. And, you know, like I say, I'm expecting, I want to get this database done, hopefully over the weekend too, so we can have all that centralized information that people can just go in and log in. Hopefully we can use the Michigan site for that, because it's no charge, it's free. It just takes people a few minutes of their time to log in, post the information, and then go check it every couple of days or every day or every week or something like that. So everybody, thanks a lot. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Oh yeah, it's Abrogate Prohibition, Michigan. Right for Michiganders, right for Michigan.